Hello and welcome, my dear friend. I believe destiny brought you here because you're ready to hear this liberating truth. You've had that moment, that breakthrough, that epiphany, that undeniable shift where everything finally made sense. You felt it deep in your soul, and for a while, life seemed to align perfectly. But then, something changed. The excitement faded, the challenges returned, and you found yourself wondering, why does it feel like I'm struggling again? Did I take a wrong turn? Did I miss something? Let me tell you something powerful. After every mountaintop comes a valley, and that valley isn't proof of failure. It's the path to something greater. Because here's the thing, the mountaintop isn't the final prize. It never was. If life was only about standing at the peak, we'd spend most of it waiting instead of living. Think about it. If we only celebrated the mountaintops, how much of life would we truly enjoy? A few short victories scattered across an entire lifetime? No, that's not how life was meant to be lived. The hike itself is the real blessing. The climb is just as much a part of the beauty as the peak itself. That rock you have the ability to climb, the bush you pass through, the cold, fresh spring where you stop to drink. These are all treasures in disguise. Even the exhaustion, the aching muscles, the beads of sweat on your forehead, these are gifts. The gift of movement, the gift of endurance, the gift of being able to press forward. But too often, we spend the whole journey waiting for the peak, believing that joy only exists at the end. And in doing so, we miss everything else. We miss the wildflowers blooming along the way, the crisp morning air, the sound of our own footsteps on the earth. We don't notice the way the sunlight paints the sky in colors so fleeting, they may never appear the same way again. And yes, even that tiny ant that bites you, that little sting, that tiny discomfort, is proof that you are here, that you are alive, that you are present in the journey. And here's something else we rarely stop to consider. Imagine there was no one to compare yourself to. Would you still beat yourself up for not having a better house, a better car, a better job? Let's put it this way. Imagine you have a simple, affordable car that you love. It does its job perfectly, getting you where you need to go. But then you see someone, maybe even younger than you, driving a better car, and suddenly yours feels worthless. What changed? Nothing. The car you once cherished is still the same, yet now it feels small, less than what it once was. All because comparison stole your joy. And that's how we create our own suffering. It's not our circumstances that hurt us most. It's the way we think about them. Believe me, my dear friend, when I say everything is fine, even when bills are stacking up, even when meals are hard to come by, even when you're not where you hope to be, the beauty of life isn't just in what we achieve, it's in what already is. Instead of blaming the universe, blaming others, or even blaming ourselves, what if we started cherishing the simple moments that are present at all times? These moments will pass, whether we enjoy them or not, whether we feel alive in them or not. So what if, just once, we stopped fighting against life and instead embraced it for what it is? What if we changed our perspective? Not from a place of endless expectations and frustration over what we lack, but from a place of deep gratitude for what already exists. I won't pretend it's easy, but here's the thing we often miss. When we release that exhausting mindset of always demanding more from life, when we stop living as creditors to the universe, something amazing happens. Life begins to pour blessings into our hands. And expectations? I'm not saying we shouldn't expect good things or strive for experiences that bring us joy. In fact, the opposite. I believe we should expect the best in this magical world. But here's the key. Even if things don't unfold exactly as we hope, it's still okay. I know you've had those moments, even if they were fleeting, where you didn't want a single thing to change, where life, as it was in that instant, felt utterly perfect. Maybe it was a sunrise that stopped you in your tracks. Maybe it was a conversation that filled your heart. Maybe it was just a moment of stillness where, for once, you felt at peace. And yet, we spend so much time suffering over things our suffering cannot change. Worse yet, our suffering often makes things harder than they already are. The real joy, the real peace, comes when we learn to live our own life, not in comparison to others, not in constant frustration over what isn't here yet, but with deep appreciation for what is. When we realize we are already blessed and cherished much more than we think. And if you feel blessed too, drop 77 in the comments. Let it be a reminder that you're not just waiting for the next peak. You are embracing the entire journey. Because this, right now, is life. And it is a gift. And here's something you may not have realized. Every step you take, every struggle you push through, is shaping you into someone you never thought you could become. The hike itself is not just a means to an end. It is the refining, the strengthening, the stretching of your spirit. Think about it. When you look back on your life, will it only be the victories that defined you? Or will it be the quiet moments, the unexpected detours, the lessons you learned in the middle of the climb? The strength you built wasn't just from standing at the top. It came from every moment you kept going when it would have been easier to quit. And that's the secret so many people miss. It's not just about reaching the peak. If you only allow yourself to celebrate when you arrive, joy becomes something rare and fleeting, a handful of moments scattered across a lifetime. But what if happiness wasn't something you had to wait for? What if it was already here, woven into the very fabric of your daily life? That deep breath you just took, that's a gift. That heartbeat in your chest, that's a miracle. The fact that you're here, right now, despite everything you've been through, that's worth celebrating. Even the struggles, the moments when the path feels steep, when the weight on your shoulders feels unbearable, those too are sacred. Because they remind you that you're still in motion, that you're still being shaped, that you're still becoming. And this is where so many of us get lost. We think we need life to be perfect before we can feel at peace. But peace isn't found in controlling every outcome. It's found in releasing the need to control at all. Imagine if, just for a moment, you let go of the pressure to have more, to be more, to constantly prove yourself to an invisible standard. Imagine walking through life without carrying the weight of comparison, without measuring yourself against people who are walking entirely different paths. Do you see it now? The only way to truly enjoy life is to live it as your own. Yes, set goals. Yes, dream big. But don't let your happiness depend on whether or not those things happen exactly as you planned. Expect beautiful things, but also make peace with the fact that sometimes life will unfold differently, and that's okay. Because even when things don't go the way you hoped, it doesn't mean you're losing. Sometimes it means you're being redirected to something better. Sometimes it means there's an experience, a lesson, a hidden blessing waiting for you in a place you never expected to go. And the best part? The journey doesn't end. There's always another peak ahead, always another stretch of road to walk. And that's a good thing. It means there's always more to see, more to experience, more to discover about yourself and the world around you. So don't let the valleys fool you into thinking you've lost your way. They are part of the rhythm of life, just as natural, just as necessary as the mountaintops. Without them, we wouldn't appreciate the view from above. Without them, the peaks wouldn't hold the same meaning. And if right now you're walking through a low point, feeling like the best days are behind you, let me remind you, the next peak is greater than the last. The climb may be harder this time, the path may be steeper, but that only means the view will be even more breathtaking. So, take it in. Don't just rush to the next destination. Notice the path beneath your feet, the sunlight filtering through the trees, the way the air changes as you move higher. Because this is life. Not just the peaks, not just the grand victories, but every step, every struggle, every beautiful, ordinary, sacred moment in between. And I want you to try something. Just give it a chance. If this way of living, this mindset of gratitude, of presence, of releasing unnecessary suffering, doesn't make your life better, then let it go. But I have a feeling that if you truly give it a try, you'll be amazed at what happens. Because this life, your life, is already beautiful. Not just when you reach the top, but every single moment along the way. You are exactly where you're meant to be. Keep climbing, keep embracing, keep living. You are already blessed. You just have to see it. Thank you so much for taking this journey with me. If you found value in this message, please like the video and share it with others who might benefit. Don't forget to subscribe and continue your amazing journey by watching one of the videos showing on your screen that resonates with you the most. See you there.